Cool. I'll just assume that we are live, and I'll welcome everyone back for this session of it's just after the lunch break now in the fourth day of the second test between South Africa and the West Indies. At one point, the West Indies were looking like they might actually have a pretty good chance at chasing the 324-run target that they were set, when they found themselves 107 for 3, in fact, and then a Keshav Maharaj hat-trick changed that pretty quickly. And now we see the West Indies 109 for 6, trailing by 215. Two men at the crease, Jermaine Blackwood and Kemar Roach. And looks like I'm going to be joined by someone. Otherwise, I'll just keep talking about the cricket. I'm rather disappointed that although I managed to watch the hat-trick and listen to it, I did not get to be the person to commentate on it. And
hi, Chris.
Hello.
There
we go.
A million errors going on at the same time. I'll try to refresh my stream, and hopefully I'll have cricket on it again now instead of just the void and my own reflection.
No problem at all. I was actually just thinking, how many hat tricks have we done as a station?
It used to be our trademark to miss them.
Yeah, we famously missed one on the very, very first day, I think.
Or at least missed a hat-trick delivery rather than missing a hat-trick, thank goodness.
As I didn't see who the bat was, it was Powell just leaning back and playing that away to third man. And are we still on? Oh, no, we're still on highlights here.
Yeah, Powell was the first wicket in the hat-trick.
Oh, okay. Yes, I see.
So.
Sorry, I thought we had started live and I panicked. So we're going to have to just burble a little bit for 3 or 4 minutes until we come back from lunch.
A few minutes. I mean, we can talk about our hat-trick memories. Although he may only be the second South African to take a hat-trick in a test, he's definitely not the first South African to take a hat-trick against the West Indies. I think that it's the video that circulates the most about these two sides, with Charles Langeveld in the final over of an ODI getting a hat-trick. I'm trying to remember all the batsmen involved. Shane Shillingford was one of them. I remember Shane Shillingford, for whatever reason, was one of the 3 wickets. I'll go have a look.
I know that he ended up getting fined for that, because the final ball of the hat-trick, which was also to win the match, was an LBW, and he had the audacity to celebrate instead of turning around to appeal. It was very, very blunt.
I'd take a fine for that. It's almost like if you get a hole-in-one and you have to buy drinks for the whole clubhouse. You get a hat-trick and you have to pay a fine. Yeah. I assume, like most other sports, the fine money goes to some sort of charity. It doesn't just go to line the pockets of administrators.
That's actually, it probably does go to line the pockets of administrators. You make a very, very good point. Where does when teams are fined, where does the money go?
I know,
is it just a sort of a luck for the
in basketball? It goes to charity. Maybe it goes to hopefully cricket charities to support it some way, or it just goes to the umpire who is offended by the fact.
Yeah.
Although then, if that were the case, I think we'd see a lot of fines, and it'd start bringing yellow cards out to try and get line their pockets. So the 3. Oh no, I was wrong. It wasn't Shillingford. The 3 wickets involved in Langeveld's hat-trick were Bradshaw, D. Powell, I think it's Dwayne Powell, and then Colin Collymore, or C. Collymore.
Okay.
That was all the way back in 2005 in Barbados.
Yeah, it was Colin. Was his first name?
Collymore.
Yeah, Colin Collymore. It certainly vaguely rings a bell. But I remember watching that. I think
Corey Collymore. There we go. Corey Collymore.
Yeah.
But,
and then, of course, Rabada took one on debut, I think, didn't he? In his
he did against Bangladesh, and even he admitted afterwards that maybe not the best hat tricks. I think there were a couple of poor deliveries, but he took 6 for very few in that match. I want to say 6 for 16, but I'll double check that. He just had a dream debut, just coming off the IPL, well, not off the IPL, off the Under-19 World Cup, where he ripped apart Australia in the semi-final, and South Africa went on to win that under the captaincy of Aiden Markram. He then got a debut in 2015, I think, 2014 or 2015, very young against Bangladesh, and took 6 wickets there.
Yeah, I remember being enormously excited watching that that semi-final against Australia in the SA Under-19 Cup, and just being so aware that South Africa had something very, very special there in KG.
I think even the other players knew at that point. You see the interviews of them, and they talk about the fact you play Under-19 World Cup, and you all know that you're good cricketers, but you talk about the fact that, geez, this guy's already got a Lions contract. He is going to be something special. And then we've seen, a few players from that side step up. Obviously, Adam Markram, Andile Petfakwaya was also part of that Under-19 squad.
Yeah, it was a golden squad, wasn't it? And around about that sort of time, or it was during one of our discussions, I went back and had a look at, I couldn't go through all the Under-19 players, but I just thought, okay, if you captain Under-19, what are your chances of becoming at least a recognizable cricketer? And it was vanishingly small. It was something like 20% of the guys
South African
were still
Under-19
playing.
side. Sorry, there's a decent chance you end up playing for another country, because I know Keaton Jennings was one of the captains there. Grant Elliott and Michael Lum both played in the same Under-19 team for South Africa, and then went on to play against different countries. That was the same Under-19 World Cup that Imran Tahir played for Pakistan. It's a travesty that he didn't get more of a career in Pakistan. I think given the choice, he would have loved to stay with his home country, but what a pleasure it has been to have him with us. We are back live now as Maharaj continues, and his first ball, which would have been his opportunity to take 4 in a row, was defended. That was already ended, unfortunately. There was a dot to finish over.
Oh, was there a dot to finish? I thought.
I was watching that next delivery just as intently as the hat-trick ball. The 4 and 4 is even rarer.
So far, it's very, very stoic by Kimo Roche, just each ball leaning onto the front foot and defending, and no run each time. And I see Dave is with us as well, so I'm going to be able to get back to my bean stir fry, which I've been organizing for Amy Grace, who you'll be very impressed. Chris has gone the vegetarian route as well. Not quite as vegan as you, but vegetarian as well. So I now have 2 kids, both of whom are vegetarian, which has forced me to learn a lot more about cooking than I felt I needed to.
Yeah, there's a lot of vegetarians in the guerrilla cricket sphere, but not enough of them who come do commentary. All the Becks where we used to film out of the Becks
Of course,
house,
yes, yeah.
they were all vegetarian. I actually interviewed Gary for part of my final year thesis because I needed to interview vegetarians and vegans.
But guys, I'm going to leave it. You guys can decide what your synchronicity is and all of those sort of things, and who's going to do ball by ball. But enjoy your shift. Cheers.
Cool. Just like always, I'm a minute behind live. So I've just seen Keshav Maharaj's 3rd delivery after the break.
I've just seen the 4th one.
Okay, I've gone live again, and I think I've just missed the 4th one, but it was defended up the crease. I didn't see the shot, but I saw the result.
Yeah, it was defended up the crease.
He's now bowling the last ball of his over.
That's the 5th one, yeah, for me. So Ken's one ahead of us.
I've seen the 5th one defended to Keegan
Peterson.
Briefly, please.
For a tiny bit, I guess.
Count to 5 and then push play again.
I don't know if it was mentioned by anyone during the previous stint, but we did get news from the SA Cricket Media Group that Roston Chase might come out.
End of that over 109 for 6.
Good stuff, and my stream's gone to rubbish. So, Dave, you're welcome to do ball by ball because there's about 4 pixels on my screen.
Excellent. We only need one of them to see the hat-trick. Gentlemen, a hat-trick is always special, but to be one of only 2 people in Test cricket for South Africa.
Although I think it's a far more household name, and he'll be remembered a lot more than Jeff Griffin, who I could not tell you a single other fact about. I know a few South African cricketers from that time, but that's not a name I'm familiar with. Although Ken might have a better idea than me.
Yeah, well, Griffin actually got called for throwing in that Test match, which may or may not have been a result of the hat-trick. Hometown umpires in those days.
Should we rename him Charlie? Chucky?
It took me a little while. You had to explain it for me. So we can rebrand it as Keshav Maharaj as the first South African to take a legitimate Test hat-trick. I don't have any skin in the Jeff Griffin game. I'm ready to slander him and say he was a chucker.
There's another South African who actually took a hat-trick in what he thought was a test at the time. and that was Eddie Barlow was playing for a rest of the world 11 against England at Headingley in 1970. At the time, everyone thought they were playing in a test match, and Barlow went on to take 4 wickets and 5 balls.
First one was a dot. Kagiso Rabada in once again, and he's bowling to Jermaine Blackwood, who just dots that into the offside off the back foot. No run.
And then the RCC, in their great wisdom, or it might even have been the England Cricket Board, retrospectively took away test status from that game.
The travesty.
And the opposites also definitely happened, because when the first few internationals or first few tests happened back between England and Australia in the 1870s, no one knew what a test match was yet. And it was only retrospectively, there was just a journalist.
Rabada in again, and it's hit the hip of Blackwood. He tried to tuck that onto the leg side, but it ends up at points feet. Nothing there.
Just a one-man, Clarence Moody, who just went through all the matches between England and Australia, decided which ones there were enough good players in that they qualified as test matches, and then those became test matches. So there were lots of other matches between England sides and Australia sides organized by different people during that time, but Clarence Moody finally decided which were tests.
Rabada in again, and just defended similarly by Blackwood.
It's all very arbitrary, and even that decision, which wasn't that long ago in the 1970 test, and the real big loser from that game was the England opener, Alan Jones, the Morgan Welshman, who that was his only test.
I think when you hear the name Alan Jones, you don't even have to explain that it's a Welshman. That's...
Yes, sorry.
It's almost like you're missing Win in the middle there. As Kagiso Rabada bowls his 5th now, 3 slips waiting, and it's nothing. It's the same thing once again.
Yeah, of course, the ECB, it's the England Cricket Board, but if you're Welsh, you'll play cricket for England. Although I don't think Simon Jones might have, or Geraint Jones would be one of the last actual Welshmen to play cricket for England.
Right. It is the England and Wales Cricket Board.
Yeah.
Speaking of England, there's Wimbledon coming up, Chris. I'm sure you're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
As Rabada looks to wrap up his over there, and he spoils it as Blackwood manages to work that away off the pads. They're racing through for 2, but Lungigiri can't collect it quick enough. And that's the end of that one. It's Nelson for 6.
I had the actual cricket on in the background whilst I was also listening to Tsepo and Tim. And then just as they went to tea, they had the ad for Wimbledon. And I think it's Crystal Arnold who was doing the voiceover for it. But because I was in the other room, I didn't hear it as Wimbledon. I heard the first word as Milnerton, and then talking about strawberries and cream. And I had to come back in and then see Serena Williams before I figured out what was going on.
That's,
Do you live anywhere near Milnerton, Chris? Were you thinking there's a strawberry and cream sale on or something?
At one point, I wasn't that far from Milnerton, but now very far that I'm in Bryanston.
Oh, of course, you're a Joburg lad, yeah.
Only now.
Yes,
I think to Joburg people, I seem like a Cape Townian, and to Cape Town people, I seem
Maharaj
like a
in
Joburger.
again, and it's just defended by Roach on the front foot. Yeah, you're very fancy, Chris, for a Joburger. I mean, look at that. He throws out the pinky when he drinks his coffee out of a clear jar.
No, it's a Guinness. I don't know if that's a Cape Town thing or a Joburg thing.
Defended once again, no run. That's a Guinness. So he's so fancy again. He lifts his pinky when drinking Guinness.
Good to see. Good to see.
I had to buy it because it's the first time in ages I've
He's
seen it in the
civilized,
shop.
you see. Maharaj in once again, and it's copy and paste to the previous 2.
For whatever reason, Guinness, I think similar to Marmite, they've just had trouble bringing it in. And for the last few months, I've been looking for it and haven't found it. And finally today, came across some.
2 silly points in for Maharaj at the moment.
Absolutely. Oh, 1 hammer bounce. It's the 2 debutants, I think, that are under the helmet, or debutants in this series.
Yeah. The 2 shortest men in the side, probably. I've noticed that during the team huddles, where we've got quite a tall team, but those 2 stand out as
Maharaj in, and this one's a little wide. He slaps that away through to Anrik Nokia in the covers, but they don't consider a run, and it's still Nelson.
I would say
And our
Elgar
feet
and de Kock
firmly planted.
might need to be in a race off there, but obviously as senior players, there's no way they're going to be at silly point.
some players seem to enjoy it. I think Manus Labuschagne, whether he's on debut or not, he's just so keen to be part of the action, and he'll happily put the lid on.
So there's a bit of a
dilly, to be honest.
There's a bit of a break here as Quentin de Kock has asked the question for a possible run-out, but as we see there, the foot well planted of Kemar Roach.
It was one of those sneaky little run-outs, wasn't it? The batsman was a little bit unaware and then just got back in time.
Quentin de Kock, sneaky run-out, could never be.
It's without him shouting "Timber!" that then it's this anything can be sneaky when there's no scream of timber. There's 3 men around the bat on the offside, one on the leg side, and that one swept hard, and that will stroll its way casually into the boundary. They go past Nelson, 115 for 6, 41 overs gone.
Cool. A few tweets. Linux Layer says, oh, hello, Simon Gear, back when he was still on, saying, good to see you're done destroying glasses in China. Because every now and again, Simon's mic would go on whilst he was doing the scorecard stream. And then we could just hear him in the background, and it did sound like he was just clanging baking sheets together or something. It was chaos there.
He's making
and
beans,
then also,
wasn't he?
Sorry?
Wasn't he making beans?
Making beans, yeah. Growing them from scratch. And he did a good job of it because they're ready to eat now. And Linux Layer also says, here's the first thing no one can take away from Keshav. He's the first South African bowler to take a hat-trick after the end of apartheid. Which, yeah, I think often when we look at South African cricket stats, we do just since readmission. It's a very different era, and this is probably when you start counting it as South Africa. Let's get really political.
If it hasn't been asked already, as KG gets Blackwood to defend this one, no run. If it hasn't been asked already, South Africans with hat-tricks?
In internationals or... Yeah, okay, so... Off the top of my head, in ODIs, JP Duminy has one, Kagiso Rabada has one, Imran Tahir has one, Paul Langeveld has one. I'll have a look at who else does.
Doesn't Langers have 4 and 4?
I'll race you, Chris, using a book while you go online.
It's a generational battle going on here.
KG's just got Blackwood on his toes as he defends there.
Although mine will probably have Keshav on the list already, whereas you'll have to wait for the new issue.
Yeah.
First, so Langeveld, JP Duminy, Kagiso Rabada, Imran Tahir, those are the only ones to do it in ODIs. And then T20s, right. I'll have a look if there's any.
But the book doesn't have any hat tricks for T20, which I find
the future is now.
A little strange.
KG in once again, and he just defends that.
I'll tell you a good reason for that. No South Africans have T20 international hat-tricks.
There we go. I beat you on the T20, and I think I tied you on the ODI.
And
long-lived books.
Ashton Agard does have one against South Africa, which I feel like I would remember, but I don't. I don't remember.
Wasn't that long ago at the Wanderers, I think?
Yeah.
We blacked those things out. Intentionally.
Indeed,
halfway through the 47th, Blackwood is 7 from a couple of deliveries, 28 rather, and he guides this on the bounce to Keegan Peterson at Gully. It's because I don't have my spectacles and I don't know where I've put them. Somewhere, probably in another room. It's fine.
They're not on your head, David.
No, which is their natural resting place. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. 1-1-5 for 6. They're still trailing many runs. The closest one for a result is 4 South African wickets for South Africa. As a KG in once again, and this is a lot fuller this time, and he just gets on the front foot and pushes it to Captain Nachi. And 5 dots once again. Can he get a single, or is he gonna have a maiden here?
Oh.
Okay.
Ken's ahead of us, or he's got a sudden cramp. We haven't decided yet. As Kagiso Rabada steams in here.
He's just thinking about books and how much he enjoys them.
He's just banged that straight back at Kagiso Rabada. Has Jermaine Blackwood. It's an opportunity for a return catch, but KG's not able to get down quick enough, and they scamper through. My goodness me, that was some good running by the West Indians. End of the 42nd, 1-1-8 for 6. Yeah, he's absolutely full-blooded drive, and KG's actually dropped that in seeing the replays. Oh, that's Ken's cramp coming to fruition there.
Would you
It was
guys
a
like
tough one, to be fair, for Rabada.
It's a long way to
dipping
get
on him
down
and
when you're that tall.
in his
He's got long arms,
area.
Chris. It's it's World Giraffe Day, so you know. gotta
Would
get
you
in
guys
there.
like me to try go through all the domestic T20 hat tricks and try recognize the South African names from them?
Sure.
Ryan McLaren has a one for Kent against Gloucestershire. N. Imbalati, who I don't remember as a player,
Etienne
took one for the
Balati?
Eagles. Yeah,
Etienne
it's for
Balati.
for the Eagles against the Titans. He knocked over Jacques Rudolph.
No, that would have been for the Titans.
Belly.
Titans
Okay, the
against
other way around.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Gestetner Diamond Eagles back in the day.
Makai Antini has an IPL hat trick.
Yes, I remember that. But it was 2 balls and then 1. It wasn't in the same over.
Right.
I
Ganguly,
remember
Das, and
that.
Hussey, the victims there.
David Hussey.
Imran Tahir has one for Warwickshire.
Nice.
Or for Durham. For either Durham or Warwickshire, because they don't put it in order. Either way, he has one in English cricket.
Maraj to
Who was
begin
that, sorry?
his new over, and he just defends that, does Blackwood no run.
Imran Tahir.
He's played for so many teams.
Yeah,
I
so
don't
about
know
to
which
say you
one.
can't. Lonwabo Tsotsobe has taken one for South Africans against Canterbury. So I guess like
Okay,
a SAA
Maharaj
equivalent.
left arm around the wicket, and he tries to sweep that, does Blackwood, but didn't get anything on it, and Quinton de Kock takes a lovely take down the leg side.
Gareth Berg, who's South African born, but I think has an English passport or an Italian passport because he plays for Italy. Took one for Italy against Namibia, but he plays for Northamptonshire now, and he is
Maharaj in, and this is driven on the back foot. He kind of gives himself a little bit of room to open himself up there, and they race through for a single.
I have a very interesting hat trick stat to tell you guys.
You can go for it.
At the end of the over.
I think I'm bringing in a lot of listeners with my list of South African hat tricks. But Tahir's taken at least one more in the PSL. So Tahir's got at least 3 hat tricks across the formats.
There's a bit of a break in play here as the bell has leapt to its death because of the wind. Anyway, we carry on. Maharaj, 2 silly points. They're right in each other's pockets there, and it's on the bounce to Keegan Peterson. Ken's a brave man, Chris, wouldn't you say? Wearing a Bulls jersey so close after the loss to Benetton. This one again is on the bounce to the silly points. There's more helmets there than a Hells Angels convention.
But
Chris is still thinking about that one.
No, I was thinking about the Bulls. I mean, maybe that's the Cape Town
He's back
Joburg
to
issue, but
silly point. Oh, silly short leg rather, and it's to him again. End of the 43rd, 119 for 6. South Africa still in control here. Maharaj 3 for 20 from his 12. Chris,
I have no local rugby affiliations. I've started supporting the Sharks when I was young, just because my dad supported the Sharks, and I supported the Lions because I was in Joburg. And then I had a few friends playing for the Stormers. I don't really support a team anymore, but I have to respect the fact that the Bulls managed to take out all their Springboks and then play 2 games on the same weekend. That's some depth, because they played Benetton and then a Currie Cup match on the same weekend. Dave's just staring at me.
Then your hat trick stat. Just keep it quiet now.
I think Robard is about to bowl again, so should I send him forth after the first ball?
I'll give it to you right now. Kagiso Rabada passing the umpire now, and it's just carved away to a forward point region. Maharaj throws a gang sign to someone and picks it up.
So I'm sure you guys are. Well, let me start it this way. Do you think it's possible for a person to have taken a first-class hat trick, but he's never taken more than 2 wickets in an innings in first-class cricket?
No, I can figure that out, because if it's in the same match and across innings, it does count, as long as it's the same match.
So his last ball was a wicket, and then the first ball, his last 2 balls.
There's someone who's done it across 3 overs, I think, as well. A hat trick across 3 overs.
KG in again, and this has beaten
be
the bat of Kemar Roach comprehensively, and Quinton de Kock is moving sharply to his left-hand side to deal with the rapid in-swing.
Yeah, well done, Chris. It was indeed split over 2 innings. Jackie McGlue is a guy who I'm sure you guys know.
The name rings a bell.
A batsman and a former captain of South Africa. And this is thanks to Andrew Sampson, by the way, the oracle of statisticians.
Bumper there by Kagiso Rabada, and Roach is happy to just collapse underneath it. The doyen of statisticians, Andrew Sampson.
He has a very interesting new stats blog out called The Notches Natter.
Keep following that one. At Gorilla Essay is how you can tweet us, and
there are a couple of tweets.
KG in once again, and he squared up Roach there, but it falls harmlessly to Gullia's third and second slip. Go for a meander down to third man as they try and cover that one, but there's no need for that. 120 for 6, 2 to come.
So McGlue
took. Sorry.
Yeah, McGlue took the last wicket of the Transvaal innings, Transvaal first innings, playing for Natal, and then took wickets with the first 2 balls he bowled in the second innings.
Oh, the next one beat Roach's bat, but it didn't quite bounce. It kind of died on its way to Quinton de Kock. Just having a look at the replay here, a bit of a wobbly seam there, and it's beaten the lower half of his bat and gone on the bounce to Quinton de Kock.
According to Wikipedia, which I trust, but all teachers are skeptical of, Merv Hughes managed to take a hat-trick across 3 overs. We took the wicket of Curtly Ambrose with the final over of 1.
KG in again, and this one's, oh my word, he is absolutely squared up Kemar Roach, and nothing from it. There's the end of the 44th. West Indies 120 for 6.
So he took a wicket off the final delivery of 1 over, and then the first delivery of the next over, which ended the innings, and then the first delivery of the next innings that he bowled, he took a 3rd wicket. So a hat-trick across 3 overs.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
The West Indies.
Yeah. Then I'll just rattle through tweets as quickly as I can. Anis Mohammed says, Kesh HT Maharaj may have ensured that there is no night shift tonight, so I may as well get the fire started. I'm going to guess HT might be Hugh Tayfield, but I don't know what the HT is.
Half-time.
There.
Maharaj in once again, and that turned a little bit.
Oversight from me.
Yeah, that's poor from both of us. This one is just tucked away off the pads of Blackwood as they walk through for the single.
And then also asked, what's the going price for a tooth these days? It was R5 in my day. It was also R5 in my day, but I feel like Anis Mohammed's older than me, so I think I was shortchanged by my parents.
Or inflation hasn't happened.
It didn't happen at that stage.
Yeah. A tooth fairy has just been plateauing.
My sister all pairs a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. I'll ask her. She'll have a finger on the pulse of
Maharaj in, and it's a lot fuller this time and flatter as well, as Roach is happy to defend it.
And then Anis Mohammed also asked, doesn't Malinga have a hat-trick against South Africa? And I definitely remember the fact that he does.
That was I was at
4-4, yeah.
Yeah. That was when I was probably at my peak of cricket fandom. I remember sitting on a South African flag that I spread out on the carpet in our TV room, watching him just rip us apart.
Maharaj in, that's the round arm delivery. It just tucks that away wide of mid-on as Rosie van der Dussen does the fielding, and they canter through for a single. Halfway through the 44th, 1-2-2 for 6.
The next layer
won that game, Chris. They
needed just when it was happening.
Wasn't it Robin Peterson who got the runs for us there?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
Oh, that was stressful. But also, can you imagine being the West Indies as Langeveld takes 4-4 when you think you've got the game sewn up? Maharaj in again. It's a much better delivery, and that beats the left hand of Vian Mulder as it rolls casually towards the fine leg boundary. But I think they've cleaned it up. But who knows? Because they've showed Keshav Maharaj. Just having a look at that one again, just catches the inside edge of the bat, and Mulder is flat-footed. It could have gone for 4, it could have gone for 1, who knows? 123 for 3, it's gone for 1.
How much credit does Langeveld get to take for Kesh's hat trick? He says, "I'm the bowling coach. I know how to take hat tricks. I taught him exactly what to do there."
Absolutely. My apologies. It was 1, 2, 3 for 6, not for 3. One ball to come in the 45th over. Maharaj 3 for 23 from his 12.5. He passes Joel Wilson now, and it's a fuller one. Tries to sweep, does Roach. Doesn't quite get anything on it. Over up, lads.
Yeah, I think credit for the hat trick also to the people who took the catches. They were 3 catches of increasing difficulty. Unrith Norkeer's at deep mid-wicket was pretty straightforward, but then Peterson, that was a sharp one, quite high at short leg. And Vian Mulder, how about that?
Vian Mulder, my word.
Yes.
That was phenomenal.
So they just got better and better as it went through. So if it was a 4th wicket in a row, we would have seen the greatest catch of all time to take the last one.
And I don't think we're ready for that. I don't think our minds can fully wrap around that one. Chris,
I did see a Cricket West Indies tweet where they called Jason Holder's slip catch yesterday.
Yeah.
The greatest catch in Test history. So,
and every comment was saying it's a good catch, but
calm down. Yeah.
For me, one of the best catches I've seen was Sabrant Engelbrecht off the bowling of
Marchant Lange.
Is it Marchant Lange or Wayne Cornell?
Yeah, Marchant Lange under 19 World Cup.
Norkeer in again as a bowling change happens. He comes back into the attack and it's just defended. No run.
I've watched that about 25 times.
What
Marchant
a
Lange.
screamer.
Yeah.
What a screamer. What
and
a
then Sabrant
screamer.
Engelbrecht, I mean, he played for Province and Cobras for a bit. I don't know exactly what he's up to at the moment.
He was a better fielder than a batsman or a bowler. Not a bad batsman that never really cracked at franchise level.
Yeah, who are the players who are just known for one catch and nothing else? There's Dwayne Levrock from Bermuda, who's also known for a catch.
Gambia.
I wouldn't be able to tell you if he could bat or bowl or do anything else, but
The OG Rakeem Cornwell as Norkeer comes in once again and it's left alone by Blackwood as his shoulders arms.
Linux Layer says, I don't remember Agar's hat trick, but I do remember him having hair. Only vaguely, though. That's one of the few Agars. Did you know that agar can be used as a laxative, an appetite suppressant, a vegetarian substitute for gelatin, a thickener for soups, and in fruit preserves? So I guess he really is an all-rounder.
Is that her tweet or your tweets?
No, I took over during the second half with all the uses of agar.
Cheapest.
Well, you were certainly a laxative for the South African batting on that occasion.
Norkeer in once again and just defends that does Blackwood. He considers a run but says, nay, sir.
He had a couple of brothers who also played domestic cricket. I remember Wes Agar. I feel
Well,
like
Wes has just been named. Wes has just been named in the Australian squad now to go to the Caribbean actually for a white ball series.
What's the most amount of family members having been selected for a national team?
Okay,
Has
so
there been like 3?
There's been 4. I mean, there's 3 Akmals.
You mean at the same time? Same time?
Yeah,
David,
I mean,
or-
yes, in the same team. How many? Let's start with that. This one is
So-
driven off the back foot through to the sweeper on the cover. It's Keshav Maharaj who runs around from point.
So I know there have been 3 Graces who've played for England at the same time, and the 3
Siblings,
Akmals
though.
all played for siblings, and 3 Akmals all played for Pakistan, but I don't think at the same time.
I know we've
3
had
Hadleys,
Albie and
I don't
Morne
think
Morkel
they played
together.
Yeah.
Same time.
We've had Morkel brothers. We've had War
Gary
brothers.
and-
We've had Chappell brothers. Gary and Pete.
Flower
Did
brothers.
Gary and Peter
Peter
play
Kirsten.
together?
I think they did right towards the end of Peter Kirsten's career.
Sean and Mitchell
I
Marsh.
think
Norkeer
Yeah.
in once again, and he bumps Roach as there's a bit of a look there from Roach towards the square leg umpire to say, a little bit short. No dice there. Just the one from the over so far. One to come.
We can distract ourselves a million times. I remember the Bannerman brothers, and Charles Bannerman has my favorite cricket stat, where he was the very first person to face an international test delivery, and in that innings he scored 69 point something % of the runs of the innings, which is still the record. So he's the first player to ever face a test delivery, and he has the highest percentage of runs in a completed test innings.
Norkeer with a bouncer once
tests later.
again, and De Kock has a look at his fast bowler and says, 46 gone, 124 for 6. last delivery was 136 kilometers an hour. Not express, but still some pace into it. Chris.
I've got a fact for you. George Griffin's brother, Walter Giffen, also played cricket for South Africa. I'm just going through the Wikipedia page again now.
Brothers, more than two.
But
The
Giffen, because Giffen
played
came
for
up as
South
our
Africa as well.
first Test hat trick guy. He's also had a brother.
Whose brothers, Ken?
The Pitti brothers, David and Tony, also played for South Africa in the 60s.
Maharaj in once again and just dotted on the bounce to short leg.
Okay, so the Grace thing did come up where all three did play together against Australia in 1880. WG, EM, and GF Grace.
The alphabet
So
boys.
that's
Maharaj left arm around the wicket and he sweeps that hard, does Blackwood, but it's fantastically stopped on the bounce by Vian Mulder. Where has this young man been? Because he should have been in the slips about 9 years ago. When he was still in high school, he should have been in the slips. He's just way too sharp there. Maharaj comes in, passing Joel Wilson now. Just back foot defense there from Blackwood. Applause from the first slip, Ed Markram.
How long do you think it'll be before the Janssen brothers play for South Africa? I guess Duan is a little bit ahead, being on tour at the moment, and there's Marco Janssen, of course, as well, twins.
Do they play a similar role? I've only ever seen Marco Janssen. How much would their roles be overlapping? Are they competing for a position or?
Kind of, I guess. They're both left arm quick bowlers. Sorry, it's Marco who's actually on tour with them.
Yes, Marco's on tour.
Not Duan.
Who seems to be just a couple of inches taller, but they're still big
Maharaj
boys.
in, and this one is just defended again on the front foot, but he doesn't get it further than where a one-day ring field would be. One to come.
Yeah, and Marco can also bat a bit. He's got a bit of ability with the bat.
Maharaj in, and this one's got him. He's got him. Surely he's got him. Someone. There's a huge appeal from the South Africans.
Yeah.
Keegan Peterson thinks he's taken a catch at short leg. No interest there from the umpire. A shake of the head from Blackwood. And I think they're going to go upstairs for this one.
Blackwood looks kind of like he knows. I don't know. I reserve the right to change my opinion on that, but his face said, oof.
So let's just have a look at this one. Keshav Maharaj bowls the delivery. Whether it's a bump ball or not is an interesting one. It hits his pad and then goes to Keegan Peterson. The question is there going to be a faint nick onto the pad first? And we'll have to have a look and see what the verdict is there. Sounds like there's the dinner break is going on in someone's house. I imagine Ken is being...
Or we've got Simon's things turned on again. Those are the two options.
Having dinner with
we can
us.
hear his beans.
Frioles. Just having a look here at the Snicko, the Ultra Edge, and it's flat. So, not out there. And a review lost by the South Africans as the West Indies survive a shout. But he wasn't at any risk there because there was a definite not out given from Joel Wilson. 47 overs gone, 124 for 6. Blackwood 15 from 47 and Roach 6 from 30.
Hashtag just looking through all the cricket
dinner with
families.
Simon.
I haven't found more than 3 in a single match yet.
Yeah,
So
I don't think you like
that's where we'll put it for now.
It was also missing leg stump for anybody who was worried, for the LBW decision.
Yeah, got to check both.
Yeah, so no worries there. Ken, thoughts on pitching outside leg stump and still being considered for LBW?
I see someone brought this up on Twitter a short while ago.
Also brought it up on our WhatsApp
It
group.
would improve the game, and I think he was shouted down quite quickly because we all just felt that it would make it almost impossible for batsmen if bowlers would just be bowling at their bodies all day.
This one is from Anik Nokier's first ball in the over as Verena chases it down, but they decline a run, and Blackwood is at the non-strike is in doing a lunge as somebody who looks like they're ready to start running, but the gun went off because somebody else false started.
Yeah, I think body line prompted that whole rule, and some people may oppose it. Someone like Shane Warne would have an extra 200 test wickets if that were a law.
Can you imagine? Yeah. No, it would put things far too much in favour of the bowlers, I think.
And Verena, in trying to stop that delivery, trod on it and is feeling a little bit there in the leg. But anyway, Anand Nokia, he comes in once again. 3 slips waiting and it's full, and Roach awkwardly defends this back up the pitch. Can we get a hashtag dinner with Simon, please? Anis Mohammed, I know you're my guy. Come through for me. Tweet us at GorillaSA, that's GERILLASA.
So Tsepo Taylor says, talking about Ashton Agar, says, yeah, in the Big Bash, man had a mane. Then he became a budget Nathan Lyon.
The wish.
And also says, does Simon have soup to share? Hashtag dinner with Simon. Somehow he was...
Yes.
He was very much on top of that.
No, because Tsepo had soup last night. That's why. Heinrich Nokia in once again, and it's wide of the crease. Catches the edge, but it's on the bounce to Mulder. I think anything that comes near Mulder is going to take. So, fortunately, soft hands there for the West Indian.
Was Tsepo having soup in his car last night?
No. I think we've seen the last of the car antics.
As I was saying, I think someone in his girlfriend's family must have seen the stream of him in the car and how sad it looked and said, okay, no, you can come to the commentary in the house.
I think what I admire is commitment, that's for sure.
Absolutely. 3 slips in a gully are waiting. Elgar, Markram, Mulder, and gully is Peterson. Is Verena under the helmet bumper, and he just ducks under this, does Roach. Not even going to engage in such tomfoolery.
Yeah, he was down very early, was Kimmo Roach. He didn't get up that much, that bouncer. I wonder if there's... Oh, it was fairly full, actually, from the looks of the one replay.
Yeah, just as you just going over these replays, Ken, he just looked like a tortoise that just went immediately back into his shell. It was actually quite interesting. He retracted his head there like a cartoon character. As Heinrich Nokia is at the top of his mark, he's considering his options. He's in once again, passing the umpire. Right arm over the 3 slips in a gully, and it's another bumper, and Roach ducks under it again. I know I'm trying to get some hype going here with the commentary because there's not much happening here.
I'm just kind of hoping that South Africa would ram home the advantage from before lunch. It was just so exciting before lunch. I guess we were... it was always going to be a bit of a anticlimax in comparison.
I was just going through the test hat-trick list now, and the first ever man to take a test hat-trick was Fred Spofford. And that reminded me, he was one of the first few people I've done a cricket portrait of. So there you can have a look at Fred Spofford if you're on the YouTube
Very good, Chris.
or the Twitter
Very
screen.
good.
Chris has actually got talent.
And because I put his stats here, I need to figure out what each of these numbers mean, but I'm going to guess it's 18 tests, 94 wickets, and an average of 18.41. Because I
last
put those
one
3
there
numbers there.
Of the over. Roach has a slash at it, but he just hammers it straight into the ground on the bounce to Markram at second. 48 gone. The West Indies are 124 for 6. They still need to get 200 runs for victory. South Africa requiring 4 wickets on day 4 of this test. And I was concerned about the lack of a possibility of night shift. I don't know, gents. Possibility of night shift?
They're just going to carry on from where they were before the hat-trick, because I was starting to get worried when they're 107 for 3, target of 300. It does not look as daunting. And then, 3 quick wickets. But, yeah, business as usual again, I guess. I'm going to post the picture of my drone.
I think
yes,
we want
please.
to stay after tea.
Ken's wrapping this game up quickly. If you want to go see Chris's drawing, for those who are listening in, go to his Twitter at ChrisTB and find it there. And I'm sure he'll tag Gorilla SA. The first ball is delivered and defended by Blackwood. Nothing there.
Fred the Demon Spofford, considered to be the first great fast bowler.
Maharaj in once again. And this one, gives a bit of room, does Blackwood, to try and carve this away through the offside. But just bangs that into the ground with a bit of a back foot punch. Good applause there from the skipper.
I'll plug his podcast over and over again. But Jared Kimber, he's got a podcast called The Red Ink, and recently he was talking. Oh, it might not
Sweep
even be
shot
recently.
there from Blackwood as Kagiso Rabada cleans up and they get through for one. Sorry, Chris.
Recently, I was listening to, I don't know how recently it was uploaded, but recently I listened to a podcast where he was talking about Fred Spofford going up against WG Grace, and how it was because WG Grace was God. And he's God in Monty Python, and he was the god of cricket going up against the demon or the devil, Fred Spofford.
This one is just
early
defended
tests.
on the bounce to the man at Silly Point. There was as they tried to, it was a kind of a stifled appeal because it hit the gloves there of Roach as it went into the track.
Quite a few of the first Australian sides, not the test sides, but teams called Australia, who went to play in England.
This one is smashed up and over cow corner. My word, he's absolutely hammered that one. It's all the way 6 runs to Kemar Roach.
Now, I'll focus on the 6 for a bit. But the fact is, few of the first Australian sides to go play in England that weren't officially tests were made up of a lot of Aboriginal players. And someone writing about Fred Spofford had heard rumours about him, and based on his previous experience of watching Aboriginal Australian sides, just assumed that he was Aboriginal as well, and wrote about him in that way. And used words that would not be usable.
In once again, and it's a
100 years ago.
massive swipe by Roach as he tried to smash that over Maharaj's head, but he doesn't get anything of it. 49 overs gone. 1-3-1 for 6.
Yeah, Spofford called the demon not only because of his ferocious bowling, but also because he had one of those moustaches that were considered sort of devil-like back in the day.
History
You
with
wonder
Ken and Chris.
how
That could
players
be
like that how it actually translates. Obviously, there's no footage of someone like Spofford. But you watch footage of players in the 50s and you think it does look a little bit villaged. You hear stories of how amazing these players were. You wonder if they were just teleported into the modern game, what it would look like.
It's an interesting point, and I think it was made on day one as Nokia's in once again and short and just fended away off the ribs of Blackwood as they get through for 2. The question was, with all the professionalism of the game, with all the technology that they have in training, all the science that they have, everything that is available to modern cricketers, video analysis, has Test cricket improved?
I mean, if you look at almost every other sport, things just get better and better. Obviously, there's a lot of cases of back in my day, players used to do this and this. But on average, the level of sport goes up across sports. There may be little things that players don't do as well now as they did back then. But you'd imagine the average level of professionalism and aptitude does go up over time.
Nokia, and again, this is a fuller one that goes wide down the leg side and a good take by Quinton de Kock. Ken?
A lot of people would argue that batsmen, for instance, have it a lot easier these days with the mighty tree chunks that they carry around. Bats are just so much bigger these days. And I'm pretty sure bowlers in the 50s, 60s, 70s were certainly comparable with, in terms of pace and skill, with what we have now.
I mean, if you listen to Jeff Thompson, he was bowling 180s, and there's nothing getting close to that now.
Once again, and this one's forward and squares up Blackwood as he tries to push at that. It's good for the South African fast bowler here. He's building pressure against these West Indians.
Yeah, I don't know if other people believe it, but I think Jeff Thompson definitely believes the fact that he was bowling that quickly.
I've heard 161 or something for Jeff Thompson as the fastest ball ever recorded, but you just don't know how accurate the measurements were back then.
He had an action that you wouldn't really see at the top level of the modern game. We almost threw it like a javelin. He was bringing it back up from his right ankle.
Nokia has just got this one defended by Blackwood as these two are eating deliveries here. 26 runs as a partnership from 77 deliveries. Clear that the plan is to occupy the crease here.
Although Roach was just starting to look a little bit impatient in that previous Maharaj over, the big shot to Cow Corner and then another big swipe to the next delivery.
We'll see how that manifests in this next inning, next over rather. But there's two more to come in this. 1-3-3 for 6 for the West Indies as Blackwood faces up to Heinrich Nokia. 3 slips in there, and that's a bouncer that nearly went over the head of Quinton de Kock, but thankfully died on its way through. Quinton wincing in what looks like some pain. I think that injury that he had earlier in this test match, that strain, coming back to pluck his tendons like a guitar.
He really had to stretch for that one, didn't he? That looked like it might go over his head for 4 bars.
Ow, ow, ow. You can see the visible discomfort from Quinton. It's actually the hands that he's not happy about rather than his hamstrings. He's just shaking his hands as if he's been hit quite hard there. That's obviously a quick one from Anas Nokia. Nachi in once again to finish his 10th over. It's a short one once again, but sways out of the way, does Jermaine Blackwood. Quinton de Kock takes it 50 overs up, 133 for 6.
So we've seen Verena stand on a ball today. We see de Kock looking a little ginger. And of course, Temba Bavuma, we don't know whether he's fit or not. And with the T20 series starting after this game, let's hope the Proteas have a full squad for that.
So the natural thing at Gorilla SA is now to speculate the starting 11 for that first T20. Chris, do you want to take us there?
I would have to even go back and look at the squad.
There's about 40 people in the squad.
Yeah. I think the fact that we were supposed to have a test going on at the same time that we played those T20s in Pakistan, and then Australia pulled out. And then the fact that we lost a lot of players to the IPL before that second Pakistan T20 series was concluded meant we've seen just about 40 players
change of bowling now.
Vian
Mulder is into the attack to replace Keshav Maharaj, and that first one is defended. Nothing there.
Yeah, and which means there's so much competition for spots, and there's so much movement in the 11 that I think we know.
So who's in the squad?
Okay, our fast bowlers, if at the end of the year when we play in the World T20, are the 3 fast bowlers that we have here today. It is the same side. There's not any better fast bowlers in the country than Ngidi, Nokia, and Kagiso Rabada.
Mulder in once again, and this is Fuller and just defended by Roach. Nothing there.
And then another name in pen rather than pencil, Temba Bavuma, because he's the captain. He's obviously part of that side.
If it's, that's the asterisk.
Yeah. Quinton de Kock, no matter what Heinrich Klaassen and Carl Verena try to do in the next few months, Quinton de Kock's name is in pen for the World T20 at the end of the year.
Tabraiz Shamsi is another name in pen?
Yeah. And then you need to decide, because it's India, whether you're happy with the one spinner or you want a spinning all-rounder as well. And then
Mulder in once again and just worked away off of the knee roll of Roach. Nothing there again. So who is that second spinner or a spinning
second spinner? I think the front runner is probably George Linder, but Bjorn Fortuyn's there. Keshav Maharaj is there. So Brian might be there.
All very similar though.
So Brian's not in the T20 squad.
Not at the moment. That changes all the time. I'll have to look at our current.
No, they have said now that they are trying to actually settle down now in terms of selection, and they need to get the...
Mulder with a full one. This is driven hard back at him, but he's managed to get behind that one. So there's no luck there for Roach.
They need to get the team for the T20 World Cup up and running and playing together now.
We saw more spin success than we expected in the CSA T20. But I don't think that threw too many spanners in the works. Mahima bowled brilliantly there, but I don't think he's actually in the conversation.
Magala is probably in the conversation.
I don't think so. I think
Mulder in again, and this is driven on the up, and that's gone through the men in the cover region. There was nobody there, and that's going to race away to the boundary of 4-4. So
Sasanda Magala had a brilliant CSA T20 and obviously had an opportunity, if he capitalized on it, to edge his way into that final 11, but he just had a disaster of a series against Pakistan, and that's
another name we haven't heard.
I don't think it was that much of a disaster, actually. I mean, he actually bowled some really good overs.
Yes.
at the
Hashtag
end.
All
Chris
5
Windies
overs and 4 over game. Because
He's in the
there was-
squad. He's in the squad for these T20s. So if he does well, he's clearly still in the running, I think, for the squad. I'm not saying starting.
Yeah.
11.
Maybe in
Hashtag
the
Chris
squad.
center screen.
Yeah.
Mulder in once again, and this one's gone down the leg side. Can we
Gonna
change
check if
from
it's
Paul
Simon's
center screen
laptop.
to Chris center
Simon's
screen?
laptop must have died. So suddenly my opinions seem a little bit more important.
Yeah. The main man,
Magala,
51
might
overs
take
gone,
the
137 for 6 rather. Jermaine Blackwood, 18 from 56, and Kimar Roach, 16 from 45. South African bowling figures, 16 overs, 3 for 44 for KG, 7 overs, 0 for 13 for Lungi Giri Maharaj, 3 with his hat-trick for 30 from his 15. Nokia 0 for 31 from his 10, and Vian Mulder's only bowled the 3, and he's picked up just the 12 runs so far.
So we've addressed the easy parts of that T20 side and the bowlers. I'll happily give the next 4-pack of Guinness I buy to anyone who successfully predicts our top 6 going into that World T20.
So,
'cause it's a lot
opening
messier.
partner to Quinton de Kock, Janaman Malan.
Or Aiden Markram's there, or
Oh,
Reza Hendricks is on the fringe.
No, hold on, wait. At 3 is Reza.
Sorry. Ah,
At 4 is Rassie van der Dussen. Oh, no,
Okay.
at 4 is Temba. 5 is Rassie van der Dussen. 6
Heinrich Klaassen,
Klaassen.
David Miller. No, David Miller?
No, David Miller must relax. His time is done.
No, Miller's definitely going to be there. He's still the best. He's still the best finisher we have. I think he's quite a long way ahead of anyone else.
Does the
And then
modern
who-
game need a finisher, though?
Well, the
Probably,
modern game
I don't
needs
know.
someone who can hit boundaries.
I
in
don't
the
know.
last
Yeah, around
5
the wicket,
overs.
tucked away off the hips, and this is going to go down to fine leg. Lungi Giri does the fielding. They're racing back, and they'll get nothing. They just get... No, that's literally 2 there, rather. Sorry, they just looked so comfortable. I thought they didn't run.
And I guess the CSA have made it slightly clearer as
Just
to
one.
who is actually in the running. I mean, for whatever reason, there's no Faf du Plessis in the squad
not-
or on the tour at all.
It's not
Well,
AB, so at least we know.
There are apparently moves afoot. Although we probably would have heard something by now,
Yeah.
and he's concussed, so that's
Yeah.
trying to get out
We-
the window. But the door's not totally shut.
Yeah. So we know
for him
there's
for the
definitely
T20 World Cup.
definitely no AB, but then there is the Chris Morris question, whether he's in the running at all. Whether,
Narchi in,
Morris-
and this one is asked Roach to come across the wicket. He's literally walked outside off stump to try and clip it onto the onside, because that's seemingly where he seems comfortable, feels most comfortable, but it's just hit the hip there. Just having a look at that one. It's a bit of a wobble seam there from Heinrich Nokia, and he's literally come across, and it's hit him behind the thigh pad on the left leg. And polite inquiry there from Heinrich Nokia. How was that, sir? I'd love to see the ball tracking there.
Yeah, it didn't look too far away, actually. Just my information on Chris Morris is that he's not really available.
right.
For the
And
World Cup.
same with Imran Tahir, I assume. And that's
Yeah.
a decision made by CSA. That's a shame. I
Well,
guess
by the players as well. But, it's not just...
Anas
CSA.
wide of the wicket, and again, Roach has come across his stumps there and defended that onto the onside. He clearly doesn't want to play anything on the offside.
The problem is that the team management want guys to be available from now until the T20 World Cup. So that means playing West Indies, playing Ireland, playing Sri Lanka. There might be a series against India. Some
And
of
not
these guys
playing
just don't want
these
to get into
tournaments.
those bubbles.
Mm,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the tournaments. Yeah.
yeah.
I'll wait till the end of the over. We've just got a couple of tweets. that I can go
Halfway
through.
through this one, and it's a full toss, and literally just batting the way from Roach as they will get through for one, as the man who was at short leg Carverena is collected that one at mid-on. 2 to come, Blackwood on strike.
I'll do one tweet for now. Anis Mohammed 10 minutes ago said, Chris is showing how classy he is, making Monty Python references. My favorite skit is the 4 Yorkshire guys talking about how tough and hard they had it in their day. And by doing that, you've also unlocked one of... Bit by bit, we're going to unlock... I've done my David Faraday impression. I can do my best at a Yorkshire accent, which is just, cricket, you're in Yorkshire.
Very good.
All I have for that. Anis Mohammed also says, hashtag Chris center screen. And then Anne Lawson says...
Nokia with a
something about-
bouncer there to Blackwood, who collapses underneath it, and there's no run there. He literally looked like a house of cards that came falling to the ground.
Anne Lawson says, loving all the stats, especially Bannerman and the hat-tricks of Imran Tahir. Had never thought about when tests really started, so when stats started. And then also says, do you think stats should differentiate between hat-tricks in an over and those between overs and even innings? I guess.
Is it such of an anomaly to point it out?
They'll look the same in the scorebooks, and if you go deeper into it, you'll always find how they actually happened. But you can do the same thing that you do with golden ducks and maiden overs and try to come up with a special name for the different versions of it that only
driven on the back foot by Jermaine Blackwood to a seemingly vacant mid-off region, and they come through for 2. 52 gone, 141 for 6.
I thought of one that sort of works. So if you want a hat trick separated, the Panama Canal separates North and South America. A Panama hat trick can be a hat trick across 2 separate overs.
Oh, is that the golden duck of hat tricks?
Yeah, it's a Panama hat trick.
Very good. I think we should formalize that.
I like that, Chris. The problem is, Chris, now that you've said that, now we're going to think of it that way, and it's going to come into law, and then you'll never get credit for it. So just save this.
I don't think there's any money for it in it, so I'm okay.
Trademark it. Trademark.
Are you not interested in kudos?
Oh, that one has beaten the bat from Mulder's first delivery to Roach, and he just has a nod of appreciation. Good ball, sir.
YouTube's forever.
Wonderful.
Someone will come back and find the birth of this, because this has been put on YouTube.
Rather you have
there,
absolutely. Rather you have this kind of stuff be brought up one day when you're rich and famous, Chris, rather than our friend from England,
Ollie Robinson,
yeah,
and now just everyone. That Ollie Robinson opened the floodgates where people have just gone into every single cricketer and found every single thing.
Just defended. My question is, and you can clearly see something like that was going to come. Every time they show a Cricinfo love it. Every time they show a tweet from Jofra Archer, it's like from 2007 or 2014 or something stupid.
Because he's able to predict things, but not really. He's just tweeted about 40,000 times, and so you can always find one that's relevant.
Mulder in again, and this is just defended by Roach. So there's 2 dots back to back, and that's the third one for the over. So, but how did guys not think, okay, they're constantly quoting Jofra Archer's tweets from a million years ago. Let me quickly go and have a look and delete.
It should be a policy. It's not the right way to address it, but it's the way I imagine cricket boards will address it in the future. You make a national squad, and they just throw in an app that deletes every tweet you tweeted before 2019. I know if you look through Kagiso Rabada's, it's not as bad as Ollie Robinson, but there's a few P words and C words in Kagiso Rabada's old tweets, which are funny.
There are big privacy issues with that, though. I mean, it's your property. I mean, I don't think a cricket board has a right just to willy-nilly delete all your.
I guess maybe they give you the option to go sanitize it yourself, or there's a chance you miss a few tests because of it.
There's got to be software that can pick up that kind of stuff, and then you select those tweets and be like delete.
Yeah. I would say
Mulder once again, and it's wide and had a waft there by Roach, but doesn't bounce enough for him to get anything on it.
I would say just don't tweet it in the first place.
Yeah.
And B, quite right. If you suddenly become a public figure, check your social media and delete whatever is necessary.
I guess the better way to do it, rather than just deleting it, although that probably will be more common, is you just try to get ahead of it. Where before suddenly people bring it up, you bring it up yourself and go, I have made these mistakes. I've changed as a person.
Fuller one, and that's driven quite hard. Punched back down the ground as Lungi Ngidi warms up the old ticker there as he races down to the boundary to collect that. 143 for 6 after 53 overs. Blackwood 21 from 59 and Roach 19 from 54.
It also very clearly depends on the culture of who you play for, because we saw Pablo Matera, the Argentine rugby captain's old tweets come up, and they were worse than anything Ollie Robinson said. And the Argentine rugby board sacked him very briefly, but the players came up and stood up for Pablo Matera, which makes me I don't like the Argentine rugby side quite as much, based on what Pablo Matera said and the fact that his team was with him, and his apology seemed a bit half-hearted. But I guess it's also, I'm not the person who needs to forgive. I wasn't the group discriminated against in anything that he said, but I doubt many people would forgive what Pablo Matera said.
What about Israel Folau?
I have no time for Israel Folau, but again, it's personal decisions, and you're going to find a million different opinions.
Is it a tweet, or is it him as an athlete, or is it the responsibility he has as an athlete to be careful about what he posts?
I guess there's a big difference in what he did and what Ollie Robinson did what he did ages ago when he was 18 years old. You don't want to diminish it too much, but I think he's tried to show that he's changed as a person. Whereas Israel Folau stuff's recent, and he stands by it, where he goes, no, I wasn't wrong, you guys are wrong, which is very different to taking responsibility.
Change of bowling. Lungi Sandi Ngiti is starting our final over together, and that's a full one. It's driven quite sternly, but the man he's finally not under the helmet. It's weird not to see Calveren not under the helmet. He was at mid-wicket, close-ish mid-wicket there, and he stops at 1. Lungi Ngiti, only the 7 overs bowled so far, 13 without picking up a stick.
And Lawson, sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say one of the highlights for me for this series has been how well Lungi Ngidi has bowled, and just how much he has added to his game. He's lost a bit of pace, but he definitely seems to have worked hard on his skills.
Ngidi in again, and that is a huge swipe by Jermaine Blackwood, and that's not actually caught anything. It's just a wonderful seam presentation again, and it's a waft by the West Indian there, but he's got nothing of it. And there's sheer daylight between this. A couple of cracks starting to form here. I'm grateful that South Africa are not batting again.
That's what South Africa were banking on, or would have been banking on if they'd won the toss. Blackwood, that drive was like one of those big drives you play when you're shadow batting in your bedroom.
Absolutely. Ngiti wide of the crease there. It's a full one, and it's caught the outside edge. That's beaten the man at gully, and that's going to race away to the third man boundary for 4.
No jingles, but Impau's on at the end of this over, and maybe he'll offer jingles once that started. And Lawson just says, yes, Panama hat-trick, but has to be said in that Yorkshire accent. Then you will totally morph into Jeffrey Boycott. But I need to practice certain phrases in the Yorkshire accent, because if I just try to do it with everything I say, it starts to fall apart.
we almost had Impau center screen there. I got excited.
And then Anis Mohammed also says that, but there are some things that may have been funny back in the day, but did not age well. Eddie Murphy's delirious is one of the
and this one is caught, and it's what a catch! Yes, Quinton de Kock. He's caught the edge, has Lungi Ngiti made up for that one that raced to the boundary the previous delivery. Quinton de Kock looking like Owen Farrell did in the World Cup, but this time South African is once again victorious. And that's the end of Blackwood's vigil at the wicket. The West Indies 147 for 7. Chris, what happened there? Or Ken, rather, because you saw that first. Ken, what happened there?
Well, it was just a back of a length delivery from Lungi Ngidi again in that wonderful channel, just on about off stump. Angled in certainly from the arm. I fancy it just snipped away enough to find the edge of Blackwood's bat, playing from the crease. Just prodding, and de Kock really snaffling it with the dive.
Impau and Tsepo are having quite a serious conversation about coaches having a word in players' ears when there's things going awry in the game of cricket. But I've just seen the 12th man walking out with, I believe it's Jason Holder, having quite a stern word with him to say, I'm not sure what the content of the conversation, but they're having a conversation, which points to something that maybe there is advice from the coaches, but it's just not coming directly from the coaches. But I'll leave it to Impau and his team in the next go of things. Oh, it's actually me. I forgot. We can.
Yeah, I think we'll leave you, David, because it is the drinks break now.
I forgot that I was doing a double shift. Yes.
Enjoy your double bowling from both ends.
Twee fingers. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time this evening. Chris, any last words?
Do your best to conclude the innings in the next hour.
No, we're going to wait till night shift.
Okay, yeah. We can do the night shift either way, whether there's cricket on or not. We'll find something else to talk about.
We'll just talk about
Enjoy
it.
your evening. Enjoy the cricket.
Ken, anything from you?
Yes, I think Chris and I are on again after tea. So, yeah, I did say earlier
Wonderful.
that I think it'll be all over. We won't have a session after tea. So, see what you can do, David and Chepo and Paul. We're counting on you.
We'll definitely give it a bash. Thank you, gentlemen.
Hey guys.
Paul and Tim.
How are you guys doing?
All good, all good.
Strong like Mother Russia, brother.
Awesome.
Can we wrap this game up before night shift, please?
Please. And Roston Chase isn't batting, so
This late shift,
sure.
early morning business, it hits.
No, and tonight's the gap in the NBA where there's actually no basketball for the first time in like over 150 days. So yeah, people can sleep.
Hooray!
Because after this, it's back-to-back days.
So Seals rather is the new man at the wicket as Lungi starts his over once again. He's got 2 balls remaining in the over, 3 slips. He goes across the left-handed Seals, but just dot into the ground there. I'm sure there's going to be a couple of words in his ear.
So, Paul, you said Chase is not going to bat. Is he not going to bat, or?
Well, if he hasn't, why would I want to come out to bat at a situation like this?
No,
Unless if these two can manage to get West Indies within 20.
Yeah.
Like Roston Chase looks like he wants no part of this game. Every time they have panned over to him, he's like, you know what, let me go home.
Yeah.
In once again over the wicket rather, and it's just tucked away off the hips of Seals as he gets off the mark. Maharaj does the fielding at fine leg, and that's the over. 148 for 7.
It's not that Graham Smith type of situation, that Graham Smith type of vibe. I don't think
hope.
They will want to risk him unless if he's just going to sit at one end and smash balls. But then he might as well do that in the nets.
Yeah, quite.
Because he can't run.
Yeah, and you can't have a runner. So
yeah.
Stan in Moore, or is that not a possibility? Oh, that man looks like he's already packed his bags. He's already in his travel kit.
He's like, take me home.
Just get me home. You know what he actually looks like? He looks like a child that's been scolded and now has to come sit with the family after being shouted at. They're making him sit with the family. Look at that face, Import. Tell me that's like somebody who definitely wants to.
That's a man in pain. That is a man in pain.
Emotional pain, maybe. Change of bowling again. Maharaj is back after his robbery earlier with his hat-trick, the first since red mission in Test cricket for South Africa. So that's exactly what the.
I don't know. I'm getting different wordings because everyone says the second time, right? But someone said it was Trevor Goddard. But then on commentary they said it was Jeff Griffin.
Oi, that one's beaten the bat of the left-handed Seals. Maharaj was coming left arm over there, leg slip, and silly short leg rather in place.
It's Jeff Griffin in 1960.
And then he was called for chucking.
Was an unofficial test. Maharaj, as subcontinental wicket keepers would say, Shabaj, because he's beaten the bat once again. As Seals lunges for that one, but doesn't catch anything.
Yeah, no, I'm loving Dean and his aggressiveness around, especially for Maharaj.
2 slips, leg slips, short leg in place. There's a catching mid-wicket, Maharaj, and he's just bunted that to a wide-ish mid-on in Lungisan Ngiti. Halfway through the over. 148 for, hopefully here comes the 8th. And Maharaj floats this one up, but he beats the bat. My goodness me. Almost had a keg ball there, gentlemen. And
who called keg?
I didn't, but I called the wicket. So I mean, it's kind of going to be
You
the
did say
same or
wickets,
similar thing.
Ooh.
Maharaj, two to come, is many men around the bat, and he's just, oh my word, he's just bowled it wonderfully again. It's just died out the wicket, and yo is probably the appropriate response to that delivery.
Dave, I love that you're giving us the wicketkeeper sound effects.
Absolutely. So 1 to come in the 55th over. Maharaj, he floats it up, and it's caught something. Mulder's caught it, but what did that come off? I think that's rather a bump ball. End of the 55th, and there's a motion from Keshav Maharaj to say it was this close. End of 55, 148 for 7.
Yes, so tweets at this hour. Anis Mohammed says, but there are some things that may have been funny back in the day, but did not age well. Eddie Murphy's Delirious is one of the seminal stand-up shows in history, but that said, not age well. And then Andrew Sampson, thanks Chris for bringing in the stats. He says some unparalleled statting from Andrew. Andrew Sampson tweeted, the ball that Keshav Maharaj bowled to take South Africa's second test hat-trick was the 111th potential hat-trick ball bowled by a South African since Jeff Griffin took South Africa's first hat-trick versus England at Lord's in 1960.
111 opportunities. Wide of the wicket comes Lungi Ngidi, and that one's just gone down the leg side, and a fantastic stop there by Quinton de Kock. That's a full-length dive to take that one.
So we had to go through a Nelson of hat-trick opportunities.
Not just like a Nelson of deliveries, but a Nelson of hat-trick opportunities in Test cricket. Let that
all
just
those
sink
Paul
in.
Harris potential hat-tricks.
Oh, potatoes. You mean the Hamburglar?
Yes.
The Hamburglar.
All those Pat Simcox potential hat-tricks, Hunter Cornier potential hat-tricks.
Alan Donald, oh my word, Del Steyn. Ngidi in, and this is just defended as Roach comes forward.
But I think it's something that I think Kesh deserves. Kesh needed some respect to his name, and finally he's got it. Quite frankly, England can keep Simon Harmer, give him a passport, let him play for you. It's fine. We're fine. We're 100% fine.
Tim having a chuckle to himself.
No, the discussion. No, the discussion. I'm enjoying it.
It's important. So we see Ngidi now halfway through. This is the third ball, rather, of his ninth over, and it's just tucked away onto the onside. Yes, no, and Verena's onto it like a fly on your picnic.
Paul
Dave,
knows I'm Team Harmer.
Yeah, Tim is Team Harmer. Yes, always.
Hashtag Team Harmer.
Yes, so
Team
he'll
Harmer.
be. What team is Simon Harmer on next year domestically?
He's Northern.
Not the Titans. Oh,
Yeah,
Northern.
Titans,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I see the Lions are keeping the Lions and not going to Central Gauteng.
Yeah, for what? For what? With the Lions. Ngidi in again, and this one's caught the edge, and it's beaten Vian Mulder at his right hand. He could have taken another screamer of a catch there, but he was about...
Was that another keg ball?
I hope he's not dropped that. I wonder if he's gotten a hand to that, but it's raced away to the boundary for 4.
Let's have a look.
Oh, it's fingertip stuff.
Fingertip stuff, yeah.
He's parried that around the right hand upright. Fantastic
good
goalkeeping save.
Good goalkeeping.
We've dropped a few more chances in this match,
De Gea,
which is not good. When you've got Vian Mulder. Vian Mulder's got color-sized hands, by the way.
Speaking of goalkeepers, Itumeleng Kune's birthday the other day. That was, my goodness, that was as close as you can get to the wide line. Aha! The umpire signaled wide, sir. And Ngidi looks bemused.
What do you guys think of Nokia in this test match? I was saying to Chippo earlier, I think he's been too short in this test match. I know he is that sort of aggressive bowler, but I think he was bowling a fuller length at the first test.
Look, I know Nokia needs to understand that his position in this. Anrich Nokia needs to understand that his position in this side is predicated on the fact that Duan Olivier does not blow away domestic teams.
This one was just gone down the leg side, no run.
Problem is that the trick and the difference between Anrich and Duan is that Anrich in the last test showed us that when he bowls a fuller ball, it can swing. You know, and he can get a little bit of nip off the surface. So you can take a guy like Anrich to the UK, whereas a guy like Duan, when he went to the UK, we're like, oh, okay, cool. You know, and so if he wants to go to the short ball barrage, Duan Olivier does it better.
Ngidi to wrap it up as this one is driven out towards a square drive rather to Maharaj at point. End of that one, 1-5-3 for 7, and the Windies are still a million runs from their target.
So Simon says, just checking, the on-air guys know, which is the three of us, that Chase won't bat, so we only need 9 down. So come on, 2 more wickets. Come on.
So we didn't even do anything and we've taken a wicket. Cheers, lads.
No, so man. No, so
something.
No, I'm just not happy with Dean at times, but he's been flawless. But my thing is, I kind of feel the time that Anu came in,
Maharaj, and that's a massive hoik by Seals, and hopefully there's somebody out there. It's Anrich Nokia who collects that, and there's one.
Because there wasn't much swing between the first. Well, there wasn't the variation of swing in this test compared to the first one was small, right? So the South Africans probably felt that they wanted to go short very quickly. But to me, going short as a South African bowling attack is a cop-out.
Yeah,
it's always been the biggest cop-out you could get. Where you've got guys
round the wicket, and he floats this one up. It's at a massive hoik, and it's beaten Lungi Ngidi, who was looking like he had the super glue on his shoes. What happened there?
No, it's the field positioning. Why is Lungi straight?
I was going to say, why is it? No.
But he's turning the ball away from the right-hander. You wouldn't think he would have hoiked it that.
But then where's the fielder at Cow Corner? Where's the deep mid-wicket? Oh, not the deep mid-wicket. Where's the conventional mid-wicket?
Maharaj in once again, and this is blocked on the... My goodness, what happened there? I think he fumbled it.
I think it's a drop. I think it's a drop, boys.
Oh, no.
It's the drop.
He's got his hand in his head there. Let's just have a look there again. He's just pushed that around the corner. That's a drop catch. He's edged it. Mulder had it in his hand and then dropped it off the take.
Come on, senior player. Senior player, man. Senior player.
Maharaj in once again. Floated, and that one is hoiked over, and it is in the hands of Lungi Ngidi. He takes the catch. South Africa have another one. Yes, he celebrates a deep sigh of relief from the South Africans after 2 drop catches.
So that is Kemal Roach. He scored 27 runs off 63 balls. That means, ladies and gentlemen, South Africa just need 1 more wicket to win.
Tim, you want to talk us through that catching technique from Lungi Ngidi? It looked the most unconventional, uncomfortable. I don't know what was going on there.
I think it was maybe because of what happened at the previous delivery. He's thinking, I really want to catch this. And he nearly sort of fell under his own feet there. Really, lost his balance completely.
It's the number one rule in catching. Get yourself behind the ball. He got behind the ball. He just made sure that he used his entire body to catch it.
And it's the robot himself, Shannon Gabriel, who looks about as enthused to come out to bat.
He too's got an injury, so I don't know how quickly he's going to want to run, because he came off yesterday with that hamstring.
Yep.
And he was hitting the side of the thing, but I'm sure he's just trying to save face so that West Indies don't get bowled out for 8 wickets.
I reckon a 5 here for Keshav is in the.
Oh, that would be a beautiful way to end the tour. Beautiful, beautiful way to end the tour. Everybody gets what they want.
except for the West Indies.
Yeah, well,
That
they
goes
needed
without
to
saying.
come better.
Unbiased
we're not
commentary on
Bangladesh.
1WSR.com.
No, but Jeff, but Dave, we're not Bangladesh though.
No, this is true. You can't really compare us. Shannon Gabriel walks to the wicket as the West Indies are 158 for 4. There's going to be a crowding of men around the bat here. Maybe 3 slips, a gully, backward point, short leg. Who knows? With
You see,
Keshav Maharaj.
Dean's using his full quota of fielders behind square on the leg
On
side.
the leg side, yeah, 2 men.
So yes, just to let you know that tomorrow at 4:30 we've got the full quota podcast. Myself, Tim, got a special guest, and possibly Tepo and Tim, not Tim, Chris, or even Wahid might make an appearance to discuss this test match.
Yes, the lads and the special guest. There are 2 men at leg slip, a slip in place, a forward short leg, Maharaj into Gabriel, and just defends this. No run there.
Boo. Why is he defending?
Come on, Shannon, come on.
Tim wants a reverse sweep here for 6. That's what Tim wants. Maharaj in to wrap up his 57th. He's floated it, and it's just defended by Shami Gabriel. End of that one, gentlemen, and it's a wicket from it. South Africa nearing victory here as the West Indies are 158 for 8. Just the 1 wicket remaining as Roston Chase is out injured.
But it doesn't look like Roston Chase has got strapping on his affected thigh or hamstring.
Conspiracy theories.
Well, he isn't. He isn't in his test white. So this is it, guys.
No, he's in his
Yeah,
blues,
yeah.
warm-up blues.
This is it.
Wasn't that a Michael Jackson tour?
Yes, posthumous song.
This is it. Right, to begin the 58th over, the West Indies. It's just the 2 from 9 for Seals, and Gabriel is yet to get off the mark. Lungi Ngiti is passing the umpire now. 3 slips, a short leg, and a kind of a gully on the leg side as that one goes through to De Kock as Seals shoulders arms.
And for those following Euro, Netherlands beat Northern Macedonia 3-0.
I mean, Northern Macedonia. Good for them for getting to the finals.
I
but
was gonna,
still.
yeah. I was gonna qualify.
That's like San Marino actually scoring in qualifying. They always come to these Euro qualifiers and it's like minus 93 by the time their goal difference is done and they've not won a game. And
Hey, Northern Macedonia have the legend himself, Goran Pandev.
Ngidi with that next delivery, it's slashed at by Seals. It beats Gully on the left hand and it's going to race away to the 3rd man boundary. 4-4, sir.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
Yeah, he's just chucked hands at that one. Wafted it.
Yeah.
Wafted it.
Pretty good shot, that. For number 10.
Well, no need to move your feet. Just stand and deliver. Just give them the long bat.
That's why it's called a long handle. Give him the long handle. Maybe it's just not a short handle size. He's got a long handle one. Don't forget to tweet us at Gorilla SA. Lungi Ngidi.
Oh yes, let's do that.
Lungi Ngidi's at the top of his mark. He's steaming out, passing the umpire. He's bowled it, and there's a waft at it again. Seal's trying to replicate that one, but Quinton de Kock casually collects that one as Dean ponders his options.
Thinks about his life.
I'll go to a couple of tweets after this delivery.
So Mpo, who's Quinton's opening partner in the first T20? Is it Yanaman? Is it Aiden? Is it
Timber.
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 Why not Timber at 3?
Makes sense. You speak sense. It'll be Aiden then. But yeah, it'll be Aiden then Timber 3.
Ngidi around the wicket. This is a
so-
full one. He's driven at it, and it's nothing happened there. And I'm micing you guys up for nothing.
So we've got Chris. Oh, you've got the tweets. Yes, Chris. Tim.
There's still 2 to come.
Chris says, Paul says, Simon says, and there's no jokes. Clearly not night shift yet.
No, it's not.
Ali says, see you late, no night shift. Also, Paul, how are you feeling about Chris Tyndale colonizing your center screen.
Oh yeah, he's
It's
taken
fine.
it
As
as well.
people have taken things for centuries, so it's just
This
it's
one
okay.
is driven into the cover region as KG looks like he's going to be fetching that one. I'm not going to say a word about that. I'm just shouldering arms to that one. You know, the truth sometimes hurts, Paul. Last ball to come in this over.
Yeah. Oh, so for Chris's tweet, is it this?
Oh, thank you. Yeah. The Barasha. Oh boy. One ball remaining in the 58th, and Dean Elgar is directing traffic as he shifts the field. Only the single from the server so far. And
I love how South Africans have forgotten that we had Sri Lanka in a situation like this, and somehow we lost the match.
I know. I still don't know how we did that.
Indeed,
We have very
with this
short
one, this
memories.
is
We're like,
driven
no,
into the
we just
wicked
need.
region, and they won't run through for one. I blocked that out. I commentated that with Nirosa. You know how I was just
meant
like,
to.
I was broken. No, well, that was horrible. I think you were on tweets or something, and it was just like, and they hit another 4.
Yeah, so
Oh.
we mustn't be. Dean needs to just close this out for our own sanity, because these guys, Jaden Seals looks like a reincarnation of Pereira.
Yeah.
58 gone, 164 for 8. Seals 7 from 14, and Gabriel 1 from 3. One
I
wicket.
still
for
bank Maharaj to get the fiver.
I think he's just going to bowl it
Maybe.
until he just says, I'm not going to bowl anymore. I
Or
think
maybe
he's just
that's
gonna-
why Ngiti was bowling badly in the last over, so that Kesh could get a fiver.
to bowl to Shannon Gabriel. Not
Yeah.
the worst plan. Right, so there are men at long on and at cow corner. 2 leg slips, and that one is just defended. No run.
You remember that game against Pakistan where you had to block 2 balls to save the test match? Against, I think it was against Ajmal, I think.
Against
This one
Yasir
floats it up,
Shah.
and that's
It was
hammered
Yasir Shah.
down to
Yeah, it's a shot.
Long
It's a shot. That's right.
dot
And
ball.
he had a wild
One run for
swipe.
that.
Oh, gosh.
Do you remember Paul
And
Adams
Gabriel,
trying to
we've come
reverse
from far
sweep
with you.
Shane Warne?
Gosh.
Anyone
No.
remember that? That was
No, I
also
didn't. I don't.
traumatic. Jorge thinking he can reverse sweep Shane Warne.
Yeah, probably.
Maharaj left
like
arm
the
over the
tweet
wicket.
that you
Now there's a
sent.
huge swipe there, and that's taken in the end. Heinrich Nortje takes the catch. South Africa win the test match, and that is the end of the West Indies tour, or South African tour of West Indies, as South Africa wrap it up 2-0. Woo!
So, how does it feel to have your first away series victory since 2017? So, South Africa are 2-0 winners in this series. They win this test match by 158 runs. Keshav Maharaj with a fifer, and Dean Alga with his first test series win as Proteas captain. Looks like all the decisions that were made after that last Pakistan series, we have reaped a whole lot of benefits. Let me just take you through that West Indian scorecard and what happened through today, and then we'll just get some final words from the gents as we close this one out until the next time we see you, which will be the T20 match. So West Indies, I'm trying to figure out. Come on. Okay, cool. Here we are. So West Indies started the day they started day 4 at, what was it? Okay. Sorry, quick info.
Without loss, 12 without loss, no?
They started, 15 without loss.
15, okay.
Then they went on to show us Izimanga, and Dave would know that. Craig Brathwaite was the first wicket to fall of the day. He was out for 6, caught Dean Alga in the slips, bowled Kagiso Rabada for 6 of 17. Then the next one was Shy Hope. He got a rip snorter from Kagiso that bobbled, that looped up to Aiden Markram for 2. They had to review it. Kagiso got it right. Next ball, Kagiso got an LBW correct off of a full toss, but somehow it was a no ball. That then brought out a 50, just over 50, about a 64-run partnership between Carl Mayers and Kieran Powell. And Carl Mayers was the next one out. Caught Dean Alga pulling. He top-edged the pull off the bowling of Kagiso Rabada for 34. Kieran Powell was the second West Indian to get to a half century in the series after Austin Chase. He scored 51 off 116 balls. So him and Kumrabana, Austin Chase, the selectors will have a situation trying to fit them all in. I think Shai hopes the guy's going to be dropped for that Pakistan series. He was out, caught Anurag Nokia at deep mid-wicket, bowled Keshav Maharaj for 51. That ensued that brought on the next wickets, which led to the hat-trick for Keshav Maharaj. Jason Holder coming in. He was caught Keegan Peterson, bat pad at short leg. Great catch by the debutant in the series, Keegan Peterson, for a duck. Then Joshua De Silva came in. He got one that was going down leg side. He got a faint edge, and Vian senior player Mulder with one of the most spectacular catches you'll ever see outside of Jason Holder's one last night. He was also, Josh De Silva's out for 0. Then the next wicket to fall was that of Kemar Roach. Kemar Roach was caught in Giti at long on, bowled Keshav Maharaj after he had hit a 4 through cow corner. This time he found Lungingiti straight there, a little bit of a hoik and an agricultural shot there. Then final wicket to fall was not Anurag Nokia, Jaden Seals. He also went for a mid-wicket pull, and Nokia came around from square leg to take that catch, and he was out for 7. Kemar Roach was out for 27, by the way, if you didn't catch that. Oh, yes, Jermaine Blackwood was also out earlier on, caught the cock ball and Giddy, a beautiful ball for 25, which was at the start of our stint. And so, yes, Roston Chase has a hamstring injury. He chose not to bat, so he is absent hurt. And Shannon Gabriel is not out on 2 or 5 balls. West Indies are bowled out for 165. They did not break 200 in this entire series. They kept on improving with their batting as the innings went on, but they couldn't break the 200. South Africa's bowling: Kagiso Rabada 3 for 44, Ngidi 1 for 29, Maharaj 5 for 36, Anurag Nokia no wickets for 35 in this innings, and Vian senior player Mulder, after his 3 for 1. He returns no wickets for 14 runs. That's the end of it all. Final words from Dave and Tim. Please let me know what you enjoyed, what South Africa can improve going into God knows when, Boxing Day. I'll start with Tim.
I thought it was a good team performance overall. I was very, very happy with Rassie van der Tussen chipping in. I do a little bit of pressure with a few low scores. As always, I thought our bowling was pretty much on song. I'm very happy with Maharaj. I'm really, really glad that he got a 5 for today. He's in and out of the side on an inconsistent basis, but he really chipped in today. Fielding is a really big plus for me. Fielding overall is a huge plus, both ground and in the air, catching. Not just single player Mulder, but the whole team. The catching has really improved the last 2 games. So it's a huge plus. Going forward, we need to be more consistent with the batting. We know that is a work in progress. So we need to score as well as a team on a consistent basis rather than individuals. Overall, a very good team performance.
Yes, and South Africa. I'm going to get to you, Dave.
Okay.
I was going to say most wickets in this series: Kagiso with 11, Kemar with 9, Lungi with 8 here, with 8 senior players, wickets in the series. Most runs, Quinton de Kock 237 at an average of 118.5. Rassie van der Dussen 125 at an average of 62.5. Then it's just the 20s, and as Tim alluded to, everyone's averaging in the 20s. In Alga is third highest, or fourth highest with 87 runs. And Kagiso Rabada is the next South African, the fourth highest run scorer for South Africa with 65 runs in his 3 innings with that not out. He averages 32.5 in the series. So long may it continue, KG. Beats out Aiden Mockram by 1 run. And so, yeah, Dave, what do you make of the series? And, yeah, who's your man of the series?
So I feel robbed because, one, there's not another test match. And I think, South Africa, knowing that they wouldn't have test cricket for a long time, would have loved to have another test match. Even if we trounced the West Indies 3-0 and hammered them in 3 days. I'm just enjoying test cricket at the moment because South Africa is doing better. I think also I'm lamenting the fact that there's nothing between June and December when it comes to test cricket. So maybe they can organize something in between there. But yeah, like Tim has said, I think he summed it up quite nicely. A good response to a horrible period for South Africa in test cricket. It's good to see that I don't know if they're back completely to say, but at least in this series, they showed that they are improving. Mpo and Tsepo and I had a long discussion about, what's going on inside the Proteas camp, but a W is a W. And so I'm very happy for the South Africans here. The West Indians have got a lot to work on with their own game. They did really well against Bangladesh and then have been hammered here by the Proteas, like you said, Mpo, not even scoring 200. So I'm looking forward to the T20s, but I would love to have had another test match. Man of the series? Oh, that's Quinton. Probably Quinton. I mean, his runs.
Kagiso took his 11 wickets. Kagiso took his 11 wickets, an average of 11.45, an economy of 2.13. He only took 1 fifer, which is like a century.
Sure. And
Which
had
I'm always inclined
96
to the bowlers. Yeah, so Quinny takes it. Yeah, Quinny takes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's easy. That's very easy. But yeah, no, guys, let's wrap it
nothing
up.
away from KG's
I'm ready.
performance,
Well, when was the last time Kagiso actually led a series in wicket taking?
A while.
Good point.
It's been a while. So
good
I am extremely happy for Kagiso. And also Keshav being number 2 in the wicket-taking column, because you want to keep playing that spinner, and I'm loving Dean Alga's captaincy. That's one of the plus for me. The fielding was a super plus, because that's one part of the game we kind of let slide in the decline of our batting as well. So I'm really happy with that. We need to figure out a way to stop wickets from falling in clumps. It speaks to me of group thinking, but there's only so much one can do. And yeah, look, our bowling came through. Our bowling was consistent. It was ruthless. They were attacking the batsmen at all times, and I'm really happy with that. So I hope that this bowling performance can continue to the T20s. And we can start to see these guys who are going to be the core of the T20 side start using that to keep South Africa in games. In order for South Africa to win games right now, the bowlers will always have to be on top. And in this case, they were. The T20s as well, the bowlers need to be on top in order for us to probably make an inroads against a team that brings back Chris Gale, Karen Pollard, Dwayne Bravo. It's a whole mishmash of that 2016 World Cup winning side. And and that's where we moved to. We moved to the next island, which is Grenada. We're not there. We wish we were. But you can join us on the 24th of June at 8 o'clock South African time for Themba Bavuma's debut as South African Limited Overs captain. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Please do join us. Spread the word. Like, share, subscribe on the YouTube channel. Also tweet us at Gorilla SA. Follow us on the various One World Sports Radio channels. Thank you very much, Tim. Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you very much to everyone who's joined. Tepo, who I can see in backstage, he's asleep. He's got a toothache. Simon, Otto, Ken, Chris, and everybody for making sure that we covered as much of the test match as always. The night shift ends, but it moves over to an interesting night shift at 8 p.m. until midnight game here South African time. But from the rest of us, everyone, goodbye, good night, and have a really, really great evening. I'm trying to close out with a song we've always missed.
Life is lazy, life is sweet when January comes. As long as one team's bowling and the others making runs. I know as soon as I wake up, if it's my lucky day, if the cricket's on the ABC, then everything's okay. And the cricket's on my radio, and everybody's laying low.